Hey, all. How's it? Oh, yeah. Are we live? We're live. All right. Good to see you all. Let me make sure that people can hear me in the live show. If someone could jump into the comments and say, "Hey, I can hear you," then we will get ready with the good old roll call. It's good to see everyone in here. Okay, confirmed audio. We got it. All right, let's see who we got. We got Kristen here. First off, right off the bat, hello from Nebraska, Midwest represent. We get good friend Jackie. Good to see you, Jackie. Thanks for being a YouTube channel member and a Patreon member as well. I know that she's always sharing some great stuff in there. Hello, everyone. The Gruesome Twosome is getting a head start on Thanksgiving, it looks like. Ready for smoked turkey. We got Brian S. Hello, Brian. We got James in here. Hello, James. We got Scotty. Hello from the beautiful Northwest Georgia mountains. Now, that's a squatchy area for sure. We got, of course, Jackie is watching from the Willamette Valley in Oregon, one of my favorite spots of all time. You guys know that. We got Kimberly's here. Good to see you, Kimberly. We got Carlos. Hello. Dan, Washington State rules. Absolutely. We got Jason checking in from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Scotty Barnes. And we got Mr. Moderator ready to do some things if they need to be done. Brown Dwarf. Guys, make sure you follow Brown Dwarf. He has been sharing some incredible video from a recent trip he took to Bluff Creek. So you need to make sure that you are also following Brown Dwarf. Yeah, Kristen. Great bunch here. Absolutely. Brenda, wonder what creepy encounters we'll hear tonight. I always wonder that too. You never know. We got Panther. Panther's in here. Woohoo. We got Mr. Nate here. Perfect Saturday evening. Thank you. We got Donnie. Hello from Illinois. I just talked to a couple from Central Illinois for the podcast. You guys haven't heard it yet? A pretty wild one. There's some crazy stuff going on in Central Illinois. We got Mr. Jeff Roan. Good to see you, buddy, Jeff. Southern Oregon here. Absolutely. We got Panther, NorCal here. James, there's been a lot of cryptid activities going on throughout North America. Absolutely, there has been. Let's see. Let me get situated. Let's see. Am I caught up yet? I'm getting there. Jackie, Jeff, we got to get Jeremiah to Owl Moon this summer. Oh, that's funny. There's so many places I need to get out there. It's wild. We will see what happens. Hey, not so perfect. Bigfoot Show. Miss V is here. Hello, everyone. Good to see you, Miss V. You guys, make sure you follow that channel. That's one of my favorite things to watch. Mary to KJB. Good to see you, man. Okay. Jana Lee, we hear you. Good to see you. Hope I pronounced your name right there. Oh, hey, Jordan Heath. Good to see you, Jordan. Hey, we got Carlos. Yes. Good to see you, sir. Dustin, any way to use there is not. I'm sorry. Google, YouTube does not have that technology yet. Soldier's here. Hey, buddy, I'm new here. Well, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. All right, we're getting there. Hey, we got Married to the KGB sent a looks like 3-pound super sticker. Thank you, friend. Thank you for supporting the podcast, supporting the channel. Yes, thank you for sharing your link for your channel. That is Brown Dwarf's channel. Make sure that you follow it, guys. Getting caught up. Gina says, grew up in the foothills of Mount Rainier, Washington. We're now in the piney woods of East Texas. Oh, man, 2 squatchy areas. I love it. Rocky Toppins here. Good to see you. All right, so a few things to go over before we get into the show, and I'll explain how the show goes in a little bit. So, guys, here's the thing. You may hold on, I need to put on do not disturb. Actually, I need to. Sorry, guys, give me a quick moment here. Here we go. All right, I got it under control now. So, okay. Number one thing, Bigfoot Society is almost to 50K on YouTube. On this channel, we're almost at the 50,000 mark. That is a huge goal, a huge milestone that I've been working for a long time. So, guys, if you can do me a favor, if you have a friend who's into Bigfoot and doesn't know about the channel yet, please share. We are close. We're close. I think we're like 200 or 300 away. Hopefully we'll be there by Thanksgiving. Definitely by Christmas we should be there. So thank you. Thank you, Brown Dwarf. Share it out. So yeah, guys, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, do me a favor. Please make sure you subscribe so we can hit that 50K mark. We are so close. All right. There's one thing I wanted to share real quick. This is a wild account off the Bigfoot mapping project. I wanted to read it to you guys real quick. I just noticed that it was posted in the last day or so. So this is by I'm going to read it real quick, then we'll get into it, guys. So Bergdorf, Idaho, was working for a company where I did an interview with someone with a Bigfoot experience. He took me and a cameraman into an area where he had other encounters of Bigfoot. After about 6 hours of hiking, we came up over the ridge to find a family of 4, which appeared to be one large male, one slightly smaller female, and 2 teenagers. Younger ones were a bit active and not always in the picture because they didn't know that we were there, and to keep the noise and disturbance down, we only had the cameraman use a video recorder in a hidden spot. We stayed there until they moved off, which was 28 minutes of filming. They were talking what seemed like another language to another, but at times some grunts and whoops. About 6 months later, the owner of the company passed away. He's the guy who owned the film, and nobody knows what he did with the film. Guys, that is the wildest. Let me get back to my screen. That's the wildest thing. Imagine if that is true. In some storage unit locker somewhere, there's a 28-minute film of a Bigfoot family just chilling out. Holy mackerel. I'm going to try to get the guy on the podcast. I'm trying to track him down. Carrie, hello from Morgan. Love the podcast. It's good to hear others' Class A encounters. It makes me feel less crazy. I know what I've seen and experienced, and believe me, they're real. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. All right, guys, here's how it works. We got over 100 people watching live. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everyone being here on your Saturday night. I mean, we're in the middle of CryptidCon. There might be people down there in Lexington, Kentucky that are watching. There's a second day is tomorrow. Full day today. Some crazy stuff that happened from what I heard. But okay, let's get down to it. So this is a live call-in show. Anything can happen. Goodness, people are blowing me up. Hold on, guys. Okay. I get dinged. I get dings a lot, and I can't have it on Do Not Disturb because I got to get the calls. So this is a live call-in show. Anything can happen. What I want you guys to do is if you want to call in to share what you've encountered, it's a Bigfoot encounter, please go ahead and fill out the, let's see, the guest release form, because this could be used, this recording, for the podcast. And it is live on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. So the guest release form is you saying that, yeah, you're being recorded, you're aware of it, and I can use it if I want to. And then after that, so you just go to bit.ly/Bigfoot form and fill that out real quick. And then 515-809-0165. we'll do the connect. We might have some tech issues because that's what we do here, and then we'll have a chat. Jeff, what's the name of the guy who lost the video footage? Yeah, we don't know. So the way that the Bigfoot mapping project works is people don't leave their names. Who knows? I can only hope that it's real, right? I mean, but you never know. Keep hope alive, right? Let's see. Chris is here, South Carolina. I know one individual has already sent in a guest release form tonight. I got that already. So I've got the I've got the phone number on the screen. If guys want to call, the phone's open. The phone is open, ready to go. We've been having quite a time. Excuse me, quite a time over on TikTok, guys. If you're on TikTok, follow me over there, Bigfoot.Society. I know a lot of you guys don't like TikTok, but that's fine because a lot of people over there have had a lot of encounters they never shared. So I've been doing a lot of lives over there, and there is some stuff coming on the podcast from those lives that's going to rock your socks off. It's really crazy. It's wild. My hair is wild. If you are looking for a Bigfoot Society t-shirt and you have been like, wow, I can never find them. Well, they're back up on Etsy. So if you go and go to Etsy.com and search for Bigfoot Society, you can find. Oh, thanks, Brown Dwarf. I appreciate that. Yeah, TikTok.com, Bigfoot.Society, and you got the right one. Thank you, brother. Yeah, Etsy.com. Search for Bigfoot Society. I got hats up there. I got shirts. I got all sorts of merch that you can wear around the holidays or just around your neighborhood. And people will come up to be like, well, you into Bigfoot and stuff? Let's chat. Here's my story. I know because people tell me the stories. I was wearing your stuff and people give me the you have to check it out. There's a few different colors. I think the main one's orange though, but there might be some others. Yep. That's good to know, Jeff. There was a Bigfoot sighting near Owl Moon. I would not doubt it. The more I find about that area, the more it's just like it's wild and crazy down there. Yeah, guys, there's some crazy stuff coming. Yeah, I think older people see TikTok as a kid's show. Well, it's not anymore, guys. It's definitely not. Foot Clan, I see a lot of cool shirts over there. Well, yeah, I'd like to think. Oh, I should just show you. I can do that, right? Yeah, I can do that. I can do that. It's my show. I'll do it while we're waiting. I got to bring it up real quick, though. Hold on, guys. And show you the new design. It's pretty sweet. It's pretty cool. Jeff, we need to get Daryl to get Wormy to connect with Jeremiah. If you guys can help with that, that would be great because I've already reached out regarding that as well. But if you guys can help push that along, that would be fantastic. But I'm a patient gentleman as well. I can wait. I can wait it out. All right, here we go. All right, let me share my screen. I will show you what I'm talking about in the Bigfoot Etsy. All right, guys. So check this out. You got you can get the logo on a shirt. Oh my goodness, look at all the stuff people have in their carts. But dude, check out this new. Where is it? It's on page 2. Is it? Why is it not showing? Here it is. Check it. I love this new logo. Look at this. Check that out. Isn't that pretty cool? Oh, it'd be great if I shared the screen like a cool guy. All right, here we go. Where is it? Oh my goodness. Here we go. I'm gonna try to zoom in. Here we go. Here we go. Now we're doing it. Check that out, guys. That is the new logo, and I love it. It's awesome. I don't know. It's got a cool vibe to it. So you can check it out. All right, let me get that off the screen. Okay, let me get caught up. Let's see. The Bigfoot took all the apples off one of his trees, but left one hanging with a bite taken out of it. Whoa, snap. Jeff, I'll try it. Hey, that's all I ask, and I appreciate anything you can do to try. Other than that, it's in fate. It's up to fate. Here we go, Jackie. I have it. Wart Friday had comments and took the opportunity to direct them to the channel. Absolutely, Jackie. That is rocking, dude. Thank you. Midnight Squatchers, good evening. Hey, hello, Mr. Midnight Squatchers. Great to see you again. It's fun hanging out with you at the Van Meter Visitor Festival, guys. Black and yellow looks like PRT. I think it looks like the Iowa Hawkeyes. So rock and roll. Steve, what's the verdict on the Bigfoot in Palmyra, South Carolina? I haven't found out anything else yet, but I will let you know. Oh yeah, the guy took a picture of the Bigfoot and it had blue glowing eyes, nighttime pic. Whoa, snap. That's crazy. We got a new member, Mrs. Sakwa 2289. Thank you. Good to see you, and thank you for supporting the channel by becoming a YouTube channel member. That means you get to listen to episodes earlier than the general public, and you get a cool little emoji as well next to your name. TJ, how's it, club? Good to see you. Hey, Cryptid Bits. Good stuff. Good to see you, friend. Glad you're here. Okay. Yes. I was wondering if it was you, Alex. Good to talk to you. Actually, the other night over on TikTok as well. Let's see. We're having a good night, man. We got 129 people hanging out. There's the thing with this show. You never know. It could be crickets the whole time and we could just be hanging out. Or there could be people that start calling in. Guys, let me tell you about TikTok. It's so crazy over there. It's just like bam, 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 bam. And there's been stuff that has been shared. I'm not going to spoil it over here because I want people to hear it over here in the episode. But it was stuff that I was like, oh my goodness, if this is true, this is changing the game about what people think about one of the old guys. It's going to blow your mind. So stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. Thank you. Yeah, great shows lately. Thank you. Do try my best to make sure it's all working out, and that I get people. Let's see. Will you be in? I've done a few episodes for Michigan, Brian. So a lot of people don't know this, but if you go to the playlist section on YouTube, which is where we're at, I have playlists for every state pretty much that I've had episodes about. So I think there's a Michigan playlist. There should be, because I've done a few Michigan episodes. If there's not, I need to go ahead and get that set up. But John Boy, good to see you. Hope everything's good down there and that you are safe and sound in your area, my friend. I know you deal with some wild stuff. Foot Clan. I have experiences in Maine, New Hampshire, Colorado, and Texas. Oh, snap. Rita's, is there an Arkansas Ozark playlist? Well, it's going to be by state. So there should be an Arkansas one. If not, I got some work to do. Yeah, Jackie, there was a recent sighting in South Carolina. It's on the BFRO. Let's check it out. I did a TikTok about it, and it I think it's like at 850,000 K. So that's like 800,000 views, guys. It's pretty wild. Rita, we've had a sighting on my farm. That's awesome, guys. Just to remind you all, if anyone wants to call in and share it, hey, that's okay. That's a good idea. Mr. Brown Dwarf, if you're still in here, would you be actually I can do it myself too. I mean, it's pretty easy to type in too, guys. Literally all you just type in bit.ly/Bigfoot forum. I tried to make it as easy as I could for you guys to type out. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it in there real quick as well. So all you have to do, here we go. Oh, I did that wrong, didn't I? I think on YouTube, yeah, I did it wrong. Hold on. This should do the trick. There we go. You have to use HTTP whatever on YouTube or it doesn't work. Try that, guys. If not, you can copy and paste. You can type it in. You guys can figure it out. If you got here, you can definitely figure out the rest. 137 people, guys. We are rocking. We're rocking and rolling. We're having a good time. Let's see what, man, there's some, I'll tell you this, guys. Actually, I won't really tell you because there's some wild stuff coming. Some cool stuff coming. I can't really share details yet. But there's some cool stuff coming. Dave wanted to put trailer cams up at Owl Moon. They like scaring him, though. That's funny. Mike, greetings all. Hello, Jeremiah. Hello, I'm a Bigfoot researcher in New Jersey and run my own UFO investigation group. Oh, that's cool. Well, thanks for being here, Mike. Good to see you. I'm going to double check this phone. Is it working, guys? Actually, I should check the Google Voice. Seems to be. Okay. Ooh, here we go. John Boy update. Here we go, guys. At dusk, my dog started doing a stranger bark towards the middle of the woods. I don't know what it was, but it was white, good size, too many trees to see it clearly. SW, possibly. Oh, man. Look out, John Boy. You were having some Actually, I can't remember if that's all public, but you were having other stuff going on too. I think I remember you sharing. Awesome, Alex. All right, there you go. Brian, wasn't there some stuff coming from Mark Paul? No, yes, and you haven't missed it. It is, guys. It's going to be wild. I can't say specifics, but it is literally a year in the making. It's going to bring everything to light, and the people that were watching that episode and being like, these photos don't look like, there's going to be stuff that is going to rock your face off. I saw stuff and they've been showing me stuff, and I'm not even going to say the other people involved yet, but things are coming to light in the future, hopefully within the next 6 months. It's going to be nuts. So yes, the updates are coming. Hey, Larry Sharp, good to see you, friend. Thanks for being a YouTube channel member as well, but great to see you. Guys, if you have filled out the guest release form, feel free to call in when you would like, which would be now. Let's see. Ooh, John Boy, I accidentally captured 2 screams on 2 different live streams a few years ago. Oh, snap. Wow, up to 140 people. It's crazy. There's almost 30 people watching on X. That's awesome. Go Twitter X or go X. And of course, the biggest platform is 110 on YouTube. Cryptobits, love to get an opinion. Do you think that the Sasquatch that are seen spider walking, which was my experience, are different breed or type than the upright? That's a good question. I think it's the same thing. Maybe it's like a special ability that they just bust out sometimes. I don't know. Because you don't really hear it all the time, but when you hear it, it's a crazy story. Jason, have you been down to Southeast Oklahoma? No, not yet, Jason. And it is so I have bucket list. So my list of things to do for 2025. I'm going to be going out to Sasquatch Summerfest in Oak Ridge, Oregon. Code BFS if you want to get the 2-day pass for the cost of 1 day. I'll be going to oh my goodness, Larry. Larry, thank you. Gifted 5 memberships to the YouTube channel. Thank you, friend. Hold on. I need to bring up the browser just to see who gets them, because StreamYard doesn't show me. And I want to see who gets them. Hold on, guys. I gotta see it. I'm curious. Who got the free lives? Hold on. John, Jason, Lolo, Dustin, and Lorraine. Congratulations. Thank you to Larry. The fun thing about gifting memberships is that sometimes it'll give it to a person who's lurking in the background and not talking in the chat. And so it's a way to kind of like see who's lurking in the shadows. I've seen that happen before in shows. So Jackie, that's a sweet deal for Summerfest. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. So also going to the conference in the Nebraska Bigfoot conference. I'll be there definitely. And then I trying my hardest to get into the Honubby Bigfoot Festival in October of 2025. I'm still working on that just to see how I can get down. Like I'll drive down there, but I'm saying like if I'm just going to be like going around randomly talking to people for the podcast, or what I can do. Is the gifting random? Absolutely, yes, it is. So yeah, I'll be down south. And guys, oh man, I'll tell you what, the Southeast Oklahoma thing could be there's something in the works that would be fantastic if I can get it to work for the same time. I kind of gotta just leave it there. Yeah, Jeff, it's Honabi. It's that area, right? Yep. So I'll be down there. Hopefully, do some in-person interviews and maybe get out in the woods a little bit if I can get the access with the right people. If you get what I mean. So fingers crossed there. You never know what can happen when you put yourself out on a platform like Bigfoot Society. Oh, Jeff sent me a picture. Ruh-roh, we got a call.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hey, this is Jeremiah.
Hey, Jeremiah, it's Miss V. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, hey, Miss V. How's it going from Not So Perfect Bigfoot Show? Thanks for calling in.
I was doing great.
Oh, let's make sure.
Hey, I was on.
Wait, hold on. We gotta wait. We gotta make sure people can hear you, though. Sorry. Guys, can you make sure that you can hear Miss V on the other line? Let me know real quick, please. Oh my goodness. There's a lag. Sorry. Okay, she sounds all right.
Okay.
Let's go for it. How's it going?
It's doing good. I was on the road earlier when you mentioned you were about to reach your 50,000. Just did get home. Want to take a moment and let you know that you worked hard for that. Going to be watching in the shadows when you hit that 100,000. You've worked hard. You're really dedicated. You make your guests feel really welcome, and you're very deserving of it. And you're a great guy. And congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate those kind of words. Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling you will be there before you know it. It's a long road, but you will definitely get there. It's quality stuff. Yeah, Miss V, we've never really talked, but we talked a little bit. Remind me, have you had what's the closest your interaction has been so far with Bigfoot?
Well, when I was working in the animal service field pulling night shift, I saw a canine cryptid go across the road. I don't like to use the term dog man because what I saw was nothing like you see in the thumbnails. It basically was a very huge canine type creature, but it had biceps like a person, like a bodybuilder. It was on all fours. It was very brief. It knew I was out there. I suspect it'd been there all weekend because there was no sound, no wildlife, and it's a place that has abundant wildlife. And it crossed the street in front of me, and it had like I'm not going to say a mane, like a lion's mane. It was like thick fur or a hump around the back. Say, I'm bad with weights with animals, but maybe 200 pounds. I don't know about the hindquarters of it, but it was on all fours. Snout was like an Akita.
Okay.
And I know that it was not your typical wolf, or it was nothing like that. It was, it just was something that should not exist. And that opened a can of worms for me. And that was in 2017, about 2 a.m. in the morning.
Oh my goodness. And that just sent you down the road after that.
Yeah, down the road after that. I also found out as I started going down that road that one of my best friends I grew up with actually had a Class A sighting with Bigfoot where we grew up at. So we went back out to where we grew up at, and we had some pretty crazy things happen that I suspect were Bigfoot related, but you don't put your eyes on them, you can't prove it. So, but my encounters and sightings were really nothing extraordinary, and having people on the show and listening to your show and others, mine is nothing compared to other people's, and I can't add to it or over exaggerate it. It was just there then gone. But yeah, that's what pretty much started it out.
Yeah, you have some really I don't know, it's your show and Woodwalkers, you guys get some really cool guests. I'm like, where are they? They have some really good connections down there in because you're down in the South, right?
North Carolina.
That's right. That's right. You've got some good connections for sure. You get some fun people on your show. I listen to it while I'm editing. Well, man, Miss V, I'm glad you came up. Yeah, it's you never know what's going to happen with these call-ins. Have you been able to go out yourself on any expeditions at all yet?
I don't do expeditions because I don't do crowds. I do go out with a few choice people.
Sure. Yep. Okay. That's awesome. That is cool.
Anyway, I wanted to say congratulations. Just drop in and, keep up the good work. You're awesome. And you're a really great guy. So congratulations.
All right. Thanks, Miss V. Thanks for stopping by.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff, guys. Make sure you're subscribed to the Not So Perfect Bigfoot Show. It is one of the up and coming ones. Miss V does a good job. There's also I'm blanking on the name too. It's Icebox. If someone remembers the name of Icebox's show, he does a fun show. I like his show too. Guys, we're up to 160. We are hanging out, having a good time. If you have something you'd like to call in and share about a Bigfoot sighting or Bigfoot encounter, feel free to do so. Please fill out a guest release form first, of course, by going to what's on the screen here, bit.ly/Bigfoot form. And then you can call the number. It's live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you don't want to be live, you can always send me an email at bigfootsociety@gmail.com. Jackie, I was listening to Chuck's channel. Oh, yeah. You talk. Okay. You know what? I'll tell you this. I actually had a really fun off-record chat with Chuck about a week ago. We talked for about half an hour. It got very interesting, and I'm hoping to get Chuck on the show eventually. He just wants to check out. He's very meticulous, which I appreciate. And I was like, yeah, check out the show a little bit, get back to me. But we had a great, it's a gentleman named Icebox, not Iceman. Iceman is Val Kilmer from Top Gun. Hey. Let's see. Oh. David Blaylock's in here. Hey, dude. What are we going to talk about, man? You do, though. Yeah, you absolutely do. Please do that, David. Oh, Jeff, you got to talk to Chuck too. Chuck is such a down-to-earth dude down there. Forrest Friend coming through, Bigfoot Barbershop. That's the name of it, right? I'm pretty sure it is. Okay. Good stuff. Guys, we are unfortunately you won't, because I don't drink, my friend. I can't. But I appreciate the offer. It's just it's health reasons. Get me which is terrible, because I love cider. I love cider so much, and then that's just how life is, right? Oh, I don't either. That's hilarious, David. Good stuff. Wow, 152 guys. I just want to shout it. Actually, let me check the channel real quick. Hold on, I'm going to check the channel. We are up to 49.7K. So we're definitely a few hundred away. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please, guys, it doesn't cost anything. Just go over there, click the subscribe. Help me bust down that 50K wall that I've been working towards for a while. Appreciate that. Okay, we're rocking and rolling. Oh, there's some stuff coming in. Hold on, I gotta check these emails. What is going on in the background here, guys? Okay. Oh, hey, Sarah. Caught you live again. How's everyone doing tonight? Good to see you, Sarah. Glad you're here. Mr. Hopper, been over 5 years sober for me. Congratulations. Let's see. Oh, hey, Sharon's here. Good to see you, Sharon. I know it's very late where you're at. You're way over there in Europe, right? Yeah, I forget which country specifically, but I know you're always in the Bigfoot shows, and it's gotta be late/early where you're at. But Gruesome Twosome. Anyone ever been to Caddo Lake? I hear that area is wild. I mean, you get so many stories from that area. It's bonkers. Oh, yeah, Jeff. Let me look. Oh, that's kind of weird. There's definitely something. Here we go. Remember, if you can let me know as quickly as possible if you can hear him. Thank you.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hey, this is Jeremiah. How's it going?
Good. How you doing? It's Jameson in Denver.
Hey, Jameson, out there in Denver, Colorado. What brings you to the show?
Well, we got cut off when I called back last time, but I thought I'd call in and tell you some Bigfoot stories to keep it interesting for everybody.
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
Right on. Well, I mean, I was telling you that I'm feeding one, and I don't know if you recall, it was a few weeks ago that we talked, but I think he's probably out there tonight having a bite, because I went out there to leave him another thing to eat, and some of the gifts had already been opened up and started to be eaten. That thing, he really likes chocolate.
Okay.
And let's see, the other night I was out there, this is probably 3 weeks ago or so, and it was raining here, and I thought, this thing's gonna maybe snoop around. Nobody's out, and it's raining. I went out in my truck and I rolled the window down, and I was sitting there listening to a podcast or something, whatever I was doing, just kind of distracted. And I had food out there for it, and all of a sudden, man, the bell that I have hanging on a string out there started ringing really loud, like 5 or 6 seconds long, like. And then I rolled the window down and I called out to it, and the thing it rang the bell another time, and I was able to record it on video. And I'm pretty sure he's getting that close to me and interacting with me. Like, I've heard his footsteps, like he's let me know he's right on the other side of the trees before, like, and I don't know if it's just one that's coming, honestly, but it's just really interesting to like have this continued thing going on with it outside, where it's like we feed the turkeys, we feed the deer, and here I am feeding Bigfoot. It's just kind of like part of nature, but it's so weird to know this right outside the front door. Like, I can sit on a bench and I sat there for like 30 minutes tonight, hoping that he'd come, tapping on things, trying to communicate, trying to make noises, trying to elicit a response, with my voice recorder on my phone going, just hoping like for the next little interaction with it, but I mean, it's already eating the chocolate. Like, I'm sure he's there. And for some reason it comes on Saturdays a lot. I don't know if that's because there's a lot of traffic on a Saturday where he'd normally be going, or there's something to see, where he's like taking a route. Anyway, but I've been feeding this thing for like a year, and it's been really interesting to be able to like analyze and kind of like, fathom and theorize what he might be doing, but based on like the frequency of how often it comes, and it's, when it started, it was coming every day, but then it stopped for a while. Then it came through December and all the way till February, and then it got warmer and it came less frequently, but it still came all year, and then it still came back for this long.
So about the chocolate, is it you're just putting out a chocolate bar, or is this something where there's no wrapping to it, or is it actually like they're having to open up the wrapper to get to it?
No, I feel bad because if I leave something and don't open it, they'll like bite right through it, and I don't like them to eat the plastic. But I'll open it and leave it in the wrapper a lot of times, or when I have like a box with a wooden box with a lid on it, and I put a couple rocks on that, and then I'll leave it there. And I also use a plastic container that has like nuts from Costco or something, like is really wide, so you can kind of fit your hand almost in there. And I'll put like an apple in there. And I also wrap stuff in foil so that I know that it's being unwrapped and not just like chewed on by animals. Because if animals get it, you can see their teeth marks in the foil.
So
and,
when you look, are they eating the whole chocolate bar, or are they leaving stuff there too?
Oh, and they're like, it depends. Like sometimes I'll just leave like a square of chocolate. Sometimes, like this one, I left in this little round disc of Tony's chocolate, and I went out there I left them some corn chips. Like when I was eating some, and I thought, oh, he'd like these, and I went outside and I was like, oh my god, the box. He doesn't like raise the lid off; he'll slide it off because it broke. Like the part of the box busted. So he can just slide the top off and reach in and grab it. But I always know it's him. Like by how he does it, like an animal would knock the whole thing off, but he'll slide it so it's still on top, but he's able to reach in and pick out what he wants.
That's interesting.
But it all started with a chocolate truffle that I left out there for weeks. And one day I noticed it was gone, so I left another one out. And then I told you I left the lollipop and that whole deal.
That's right. Yep. The lollipop. Absolutely. Remind me, have you had any visual in that situation, or do you have like any cameras set out, or?
Yeah, I had a visual of him, and I didn't start trying to feed him till like a year after that. But I mean, it was like mind blowing to know he's right outside, And I don't think I told you this. This was one of the spider crawl scenarios where I thought it was a dog at first, with its head looking at the sky. And I noticed that it noticed me as I was walking to my truck, and I was shielded by the house when I came from the back to the front yard. So it was like, it was just the driveway's width plus maybe another 10 feet away, but it stopped, and I pretended to not see it. And then as soon as I got as close as I could, I made like two really big steps to the end of the driveway, and I'm looking 10 or 12 feet right at this thing. And then its head went down to the ground. And I thought, if this is a dog, where's the eye sockets? Where are the ears? And then I realized, I looked at the shoulders, and I was like, holy crap, those are round like mine. And then it turned, and it crawled away, and it was pretty freaky.
Oof. That's some wild stuff.
Yeah, it was dark. It was hard to make it out really good, like a lot of features, because it was covered in hair, but I saw the reflection of the eyes. They were like yellow half moons, and it was like life changing. But it's pretty crazy to just have them out there, but they are close. I found I found like a deer leg. I think I might have told you, a deer leg.
Okay.
A front and a back deer leg. They got yanked off like a newborn next to a fake fire pit. So like I knew they were here for years, but like once seeing it like changed everything, and then feeding it changed even more things, because then I got to learn the frequency and see how sneaky they are, and like. But he hasn't, like, once I realized he's there, I've talked to it, dude. I had it like mouth pop to me, because I was right next to my gifting stump, and I was talking on video, and I'm like, oh cool. I'm like, he came out and he friggin' ate already. I'm like, no crap. And then I could hear him shuffling away as I was talking on the video. So I'm like, holy crap. I like stopped talking, and I'm like, dude, this thing is right there. I didn't want to run in the trees and chase it. And I didn't want to like harass it. I said out loud, I'm like, I'm going to let him go. I'm going to let him get a few feet away, let him crawl away. I heard him get 8, 10, 12 feet away. Then I walked to the driveway, and I said, hey, buddy, are you here? And then he goes like a pop like that. I don't know how he did it. That was my finger in my mouth. But I mean, I heard it, dude. And I'm just like, and he did it like 2 or 3 times to me. Like, I'm like, hey, dude. I ran over to the corner of my driveway, and I yelled out to him again, and he did it again. And I was like, holy crap. Then he did it again. And I was like, as he like got further away, like they kind of like, sometimes I think those taps, how they are, they tree knock and stuff just to let you know maybe where they are. It might just be a location thing. Like out of respect, you do a little tap or make a little noise. Like he's letting me hear his footsteps once. The neighbor kid was playing basketball, and I was out there, and I'm like, dude, this thing is like right here. And then all of a sudden, crunch, 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 crunch. And I was like, whoa, scared the hell out of me.
Have you ever talked to, has this come up with your neighbors at all?
Yeah, because one neighbor, she used to live in this house a long time ago, and she was telling me how they used to have rabbits and for her kids. And I mean, this is like when there was only like 3 or 4 houses in this neighborhood, like back in the 70s. And she's like, yeah, the rabbits would come up missing. Sometimes they'd all be dead. Oh. I'm like hearing these stories. I'm like, I hear all this stuff in the Bigfoot world. So she's telling me this stuff, right? Then she tells me, well, something keeps getting on the roof of my house. And so this is going to be a good one for you. So I'm like, really? And I'm like, how big does it sound? And she's like, I don't know. Maybe it's a mountain lion, but doesn't make any sense. It probably is a raccoon. And I'm like, would you even hear a raccoon on your roof? And we're going through all this. So I kind of convinced her, look, you might have a Bigfoot on your house. Like, I don't know if she believes me or not, but it got to the point where, dude, she let me put up an X made out of sticks on the side of her house where I think it was jumping up, because like I went over there a couple of years ago and I was like doing her a favor, maybe planting plants or who knows what I did for her. But I noticed by her front door, there were these like mud splots like going up the stucco railway. And I'm like, why is there mud all over your stucco railway? Then I look up and it's like a 5 or 6 foot jump to the roof. But now since then, she's installed a Ring doorbell camera on her front door. So
Okay.
I don't think it's going up and down right there anymore, because that's a really dark part. There's all these trees. It's a super dark part of the neighborhood. But now on the north side of the house, I put that X up where I think it's jumping onto this like area to get on a roof. And oh my God, I'm trying to think of what it did in retaliation. Like it came over here and it like nothing got on the roof and it ate the food. And I was like, okay, cool. Like it's all good. And then the next day it came back and I must have not left like a big enough food offering, because this thing like broke some figurines that I had, like just destroyed some stuff that I had out at the gifting area. Like there's been numerous times where I went camping one time and I didn't leave food for it. And it busted this porcelain rabbit that I had out there. Like I have all these little animal figurines like on the gifting stuff. So it breaks this porcelain rabbit. And when I get back from camping, there is a rabbit's leg in my driveway. So like I think it was like letting me know, like I will kill your rabbits like on the property. Or I'm not even joking. Like I had there was a horse that I had that was like crystal, like quartz crystal, but it was carved into a bust of a horse, and it was only like as big as my thumb. Dude, it cracked that into shards. Like I find pieces of it out there. I'm like, what is there? Is there glass out here? And then I'm like, oh yeah, the Bigfoot like turned that to dust. He must have used a rock and just like bashed it to nothing. But another time, let's see, I was feeding it, like when I first started, I was feeding it every day, and it was coming every day. And I was like in my basement down here, like watching TV. I had the blinds open, so nobody's in the side yard, like, but you could see right in and see me watching TV. Well, I thought, man, I'm so tired. I don't want to put shoes on and go feed this thing. Like tonight, he's not going to get fed, you know? Well, the next morning I wake up and I've got a glass wind chime hanging right outside the window where he could stand and look directly into the house. And that wind chime had a big triangular chunk taken out of it. And it had been out in hailstorms. It had been hanging out for years. Nothing ever took it out. But I think Bigfoot took it out on me for not feeding him.
Oh, wow. So are you seeing any tracks in your yard at all?
No, because it's super pine needly.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And
Gotcha.
I did, when he ran away from me, though, on all fours, I did go back and do a little tracking, and it looked like he made some marks in the sand. But I'm pretty familiar with their hand and their foot marks because I do research and I go to the lakes and I find I find some superb Sasquatch evidence. I've got tracks with dermal ridges in them, which is pretty rare, but I don't find them all the time. But I've found some good sets, and I've got some good tracks.
The video you were talking about, is that do you have any like is it on a YouTube channel, or is this just like a private video?
Yeah, I post on a bunch of different channels. I mean, dude, people are going to hear my name and hate me. Like I post on Mr. Duffy 81. I post on Bigfoot Truth.
That's awesome. Okay, yeah. No, I know who you are.
Local Squatch.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
I'm out there, dude. I do my thing. Like
yeah, that's cool, man.
Palatable to everybody.
Yeah.
But I've got like amazing experiences with them. And I mean, it's not just physical, dude. Like there's been paranormal things that have happened that are uncanny related to these things. Like I've heard disembodied voices a couple times in my house.
Yep.
Where I'm like, I mean, it's like, I think it was the Bigfoot, like, 'cause, you know what I mean? Like I've seen my cat spooked where I'm like, what is it? Is it Bigfoot? And she's just like staring at something. And I'm like, I know they can do their invisible thing, you know? One time I saw a jug of water, a gallon of water that had maybe like 3 or 4 teaspoons in it, slide across the floor as though a finger was behind it, pushing it, like in these little like 3 or 4 inch increments. It went over the precipice of one room across the linoleum into the linoleum of the kitchen here. And I mean, dude, I watched the thing move like 2 feet, and I was just like, holy crap, like is this Bigfoot letting me know like we can do stuff in your life? Because I'm always thinking about them, you know. And my ex-wife is like super religious. She's seen them. She's praying all the time, and she has Bigfoot encounters, and they're always on her mind. And I feel like, I don't know, sometimes like the more you think about them, the more they can come around. But I don't think I'm like attracting the one outside per se. I'm just noticing evidence. But
Right.
Dude, my ex-wife, I've told this on another podcast, she saw two of them walk behind the wall behind my back into the living room through the bedroom. Like, they turned to her and one put its finger over its mouth. They were holding hands, a big one and a little one. And when I was on top of her, giving her a kiss, and she went, and I thought I poked her or something. I'm like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Huh." I was like, "Anything else?" You know what I mean? She's like, "No." And then like days later, she's like, "I had to call my mom because I saw these things and I didn't think they were real." And she's like, "Now I'm like wondering about Bigfoot, and you're out in the woods looking for these things, and here they are like walking through the wall." And I mean, I can't account for what other people see, but it's kind of,
Right.
that's not the first time I've had Bigfoot behind my back, dude. I went to New Hampshire with her on my honeymoon. We went and visited family. She had family from Africa back there. Like, it was just like a whole reunion thing. And I went out in the woods looking for Bigfoot. I know they were snapping all around me. I filmed one on video, I think, like accidentally. And then when I came back to the house and ate dinner, she went and changed afterwards. And this Bigfoot was like in the window looking at her practically like face to face. She said the thing was running away. Like, as she looked up, it was already running, but it turned and looked at her, gave her a smile, and ran across the backyard behind my back because my back was facing the sliding glass door in the kitchen. Dude, my great aunt screams, puts her arms over her head, and says, "What is that? Who is that?" And then I turned around thinking like there was a person in the backyard, like, you know what I mean? Because we're out in the country on a private road. Like, the namesake is my mother's maiden name. Like, this is the middle of nowhere, dude. And friggin' all of a sudden it's like, boom, Bigfoot is right behind your back. He's running through the woods or in the cornfield. I don't know where he went, but like, he was right there, and they saw him, and I didn't see it. But subsequently, dude, they sold that house in like a month and moved because they were like dragging their feet. They didn't want to sell it to my cousin for like cheap. And pretty soon they're like, "Okay, here, that's a fair price. You can even have all the shares to the land trust." And they were out of there. Granted, they were in their 80s, but they're like, they got spooked out by Bigfoot.
Oh my goodness. That is so intense. I want to say real quick, Jackie, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. Ton of people are able to take part in watching stuff early. So thank you, Jackie, for that. But man, Mr. Duffy, that's some wild stuff. What part of New Hampshire did you say? Can you share like a region, or maybe not too specific, but
I'll tell you, it was very close to the Massachusetts border in south central New Hampshire.
oh, really? Okay, because I'm very familiar with that
we could talk
area.
off air, but I don't want to.
Yeah, we can talk.
There.
Okay,
I know you are.
you know it. Yeah, so you're like, I mean, dude, I don't mind saying this. I grew up just south of Winchester, New Hampshire, on Route 10. If that tells you how familiar I am with that area. So.
Right. I mean, it gets swampy in there. You know what I mean? And bogs.
So
it's
swampy.
got woods, and it's just like, it's the craziest land in there. And that's why I think there's always somewhere for them to go, because you can't build everywhere, because developers, if they want it, and plus it's in the middle of nowhere, but it's perfect habitat for it, man. It's amazing.
Well, yeah. And I mean, you can look into the stories of the Marlboro Monkey Man of New Hampshire, southern New Hampshire, in that area too. It's just there's
Monadnock is getting a lot of energy right now in the Bigfoot world.
Oh, really?
So it's in the vicinity, definitely in the Monadnock vicinity. We'll say that.
I'll tell you this. I had a young lady reach out with two Mount Monadnock Bigfoot encounters she had, and they were pretty intense. And I'm trying to get her to come on the show, but it was that area has stuff going on for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. I used to hike all these mountains, and we would literally run down them when we were done. Like, me and my friend Bob, we would just hike all these different peaks. And I can't believe I don't have any Bigfoot stories. I guess I was too busy running down the trail, but I often wonder how many Bigfoot have seen me in the woods. You think about how many times you see Bigfoot. I'm like, how many times has Bigfoot seen me?
That's funny.
Funny question, I think, sometimes.
That's true.
I remember I have another funny New Hampshire story because when I was I grew up in for a few years in Rochester. I went to school for a couple of years there, and behind Chamberlain Elementary School where I went, there was a stream that ran in our house. We could actually go through the backyard, jump the stream, and go play in the playground, and we'd hang out at the school after hours and stuff. But there were always like logs across the stream, and we didn't know who did it. We never saw any like older kids back there, but we always said, okay, it's older kids, it's somebody else doing it. But looking back, like, I think Bigfoot was in there. But one day it got so dark, I had to walk back, and I couldn't cross the stream, and I didn't want to go over these logs. I would fall into the stream, and I just was like, damn, I was like, how am I going to get home? I had to walk all the way down to the end of the stream, go across this marshy part, and it was all just getting my shoes wet, but I could just walk through without getting totally soaked. And all of a sudden, I see this thing start running on the ground, and I ran home, jumped straight over a 4-foot fence, hit the ground, was covered in like leaves, grass, whatever. And my mom's like, what the hell's wrong with you? And I'm like, there was a monkey. And she's like, there's no monkeys in New Hampshire. And I was like, well,
right.
I was like, it was there. It was black. It was grabbed. And she's like, it was probably a rabbit. So like looking back, I'm like, yeah, it was a rabbit. But like now that I look back, I'm like, oh no, there was a monkey back there. And if you go into those woods behind the Chamberlain Elementary School back there, there was just railroad tracks. There's a cemetery adjacent to that, and it goes for acres and acres back there where you could just do whatever you want.
That's wild.
Yeah. I want to go back there.
Absolutely. Mr. Duffy, I'm glad you called in. Dude, you send me an email. Maybe we can talk off air about what you had referenced earlier, but keep us in the loop with what's going on with your gifting situation as well.
For sure, man. I appreciate you having me on the live show. It's always great talking with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have a good night, sir. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Later, Jeremiah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you to Mr. Duffy for coming on. There is I got to find a comment real quick. Here it is. Carrie, I just got forms done. I'll be getting a hold of you soon. I have 30 plus years of encounters and Class A encounters. I'm having to go through 30 years of daily journals. Okay, Carrie, here's the deal. I want you to take as long as you need to go through that stuff before you contact me. That's not a one that I want you to call in on a live show. That's one where we need to set up a time to just chat. So, Carrie, if you're still in here, if you could send me an email at bigfootsociety@gmail.com, and then I'll get you the info about how to sign up for a time when you're ready so we can chat for the podcast. I would love to do that. But yeah, if it takes you a while to do that, 30 years of journals, that's a lot. Shout out to Jackie again for gifting 10 memberships. That's awesome. Jackie, I appreciate you helping people out, experience things before their episodes, before they're out for the public. Very, very extremely nice. And Laura, thank you for a $2 super sticker. Good stuff. Appreciate that support. Caught up. Double check. All right, guys, we're having a great night. I am going to go ahead and we'll do a last call. We'll do a few more. So if you've been waiting to call in, this is your time to call in. We're going to do about 5 more minutes. It'll give, let's see. Ward, if you could do it again, I apologize. There's stuff that I know it somehow slips through the cracks, and I don't know, but probably goes to like some junk mail. to be honest. But if you wouldn't mind emailing that again, I appreciate it. Bigfoot Society is not one of those podcasts where I have a person that does all my like appointments and stuff. That's me. So it's a lot of work keeping it all straight, but it is worth it, guys. The main reason I do it is to give people a place to share what they've experienced and share their encounters in a place where they're not making fun of. They don't have to worry about being ridiculed. And it's incredible how many emails I get every single day. It's a lot. It's a lot. That's why I put out a podcast episode every day, because if I didn't, I would never keep up, and I'm barely keeping up now. There's so many people that want to share what happened, and gotcha, Foot Clan. Nice. Good stuff. Yes, absolutely. Bigfoot is out there every day creating more stories. Keep your eyes peeled. That's the thing, Foot Clan. And that's why it keeps going, because you have the old timers that had something happen 30, 40 years ago, and they're just at the point where they're retired and they're getting ready to share. But you also have the new people going out and experiencing something that could have just happened yesterday. And I'm at the point where I have individuals. I had the one guy from New Jersey reach out to me an hour after it happened. It's so intense. I know it's going to get to the point where some dude is going to send me an email and be like, I'm literally looking at one right now. That's going to happen one day. I absolutely believe that. Slaya, what's up? Good to see ya. Howdy from Ocean Shores. I'm glad that you were able to stop by for a few minutes. Good stuff. Wait. Oh, Snapdragon. I'm missing calls because I had to turn on Do Not Disturb. Sorry, guys. Oh, okay. Let me call this number back real quick.
Hello.
Hey, this is Jeremiah. How's it going?
Hi, Jeremiah. Well, my story is I was never into Bigfoot or anything, and I was injured at work, and I was watching Travel Channel or something, and I saw a thing on Bigfoot. It was the Mike Woolley story.
Oh, yeah.
And so my younger brother, he hunts out in Colorado all the time. And I asked him about that. And he goes, we don't talk about that. He hunts by Cortez. And we don't talk about that. I go, what do you mean you don't talk about it? He goes, well, his buddy that he hunts with.
Sorry, I need to pause you for a second. Guys, can you hear this individual on the phone? I apologize, sir. I need to make sure that they can actually hear you.
Okay.
Okay, we're good. I think we're good. Guys, if you could let me know if we're good, if you can hear that individual. Yes, okay. Feel free to continue.
So he hunts out by Cortez, and he bear hunts and they elk hunt out there. And he had his buddy tell him the story about his Bigfoot encounter, and he videotaped it as he told it. And basically, he was downwind of this Bigfoot, and it was sitting on a rock. And he thought it was a bear until it put its arms down and then stood up and started walking. And then he put the scope on it, and he said he described his face as a leathery, and the guy's Hispanic, and he said it was a Chicano face. So I guess I just take that as a leathery face, and it walked off. And it was just like, yeah. And then so after that, I went down the rabbit hole, and I was talking to my two nephews, and they're in their 30s now. And they go, we seen one, and this was in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Really?
I'm like, what? you guys seen one in Cedar Rapids, Iowa? I mean,
Whoa.
Cedar Falls.
Cedar Falls.
Cedar
okay.
Falls.
Yep.
And they go, yeah, we were on a trampoline, and there was 3 of them, and it was a valley, and they're on the trampoline, and there was a fence that was around a garden, and it stepped over the fence and then started booking up the other side. And I said, well, what color was it? The first guy, his was black. He said, this one was white. I said, like a wolf? And he said, no, it was white, but a dirty white. And I go, did you guys get a look at its face? And they said, no. As soon as we saw it, and it was running up the hillside at a tremendous speed, they said they just took off. And I go, why didn't you guys ever say anything about it? They go, because everybody said we were idiots. So they're in their 30s. So this summer, I pinned them down, and then they had told the story of it. And then my son was stationed in Woodby Island, and they were talking with some friends, and they told me a story that it was 4th of July, like 2018, and they had one cross the road. They were leaving the fireworks, and they were like up somewhere in Seattle, I'm not sure, and they said one crossed the road in front of them. So those were my 3 stories, and it was just like, since I brought it out, then people start telling you.
Absolutely.
And these people don't. And so that's how I went down the rabbit hole of Bigfoot.
Oh, man.
So, yeah.
That's great. That's great.
I've never seen one, but my nephews, I believe them because they kept it to themselves for years and would never say anything about it. And then they say it's funny that they'll get, dreams or something, and then they'll call each other up and go, man, I still just can't get that out of my head.
Oh, really? So, okay. So it's affecting them through dreams and stuff. Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah. And all 3 of them saw it, but they never saw a face. They said they saw it heading up the other side of the hill, and they just said they got out of there. They didn't even wait around.
If they ever want to, I know a guy from that area who's a really good researcher. If they ever want to talk to someone that's a researcher about what they experienced, just send me an email and I can try to make the connection.
Okay.
But he's out in that area.
I went down the Bigfoot rabbit hole about 2 years ago, and it was just like, then you start hearing stories, and then you find out about the BFRO, and then you find out that they've been sighted, and it's just like, oh my God. And it's just crazy.
Oh yeah. And I mean, even Iowa, I mean, you start looking into Northeast and Southeast, and like there's stuff that happens out here. It's crazy.
There's a park, and then so I went looking, and there's a park that is in Cedar Falls, and I forget the name of the park, and the BFRO had seen Bigfoot in that park. It's like a piece of land that runs from the old dog track up through Waterloo to Cedar Falls.
Oh wow. Really?
And it's a different name of a park. So since I went down the rabbit hole, you start hearing these stories, and it's unbelievable.
That's gotta be, and I'm just looking at a map, so I'm just saying, well, it might be this. It could be George Wythe State Park or Castle Hill Park. It looks like that connects the two. I don't know.
No,
I have not to. Those? Okay. Huh.
No, it's a last name is like Ski or something like that.
Okay. Interesting.
Something like that.
All
and
right.
that was in Cedar Falls,
okay,
Iowa.
All right, gotcha. Wow. Well, thanks for calling.
Yeah,
in.
so that's all of a sudden you bring up the conversation, and then people start telling you stories like, why don't you guys say anything? And there's so many people that see them that don't say anything.
No, I know it. Man, you think about it, there's probably hundreds or even thousands of people that have never shared their encounter. Wild stuff. But yeah.
Well, thanks for the time. Have a good night.
Yes, sir. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.
Good stuff. Those are some, I like the short little ones sometimes where it makes you think of a new area. Let's see. There was, I believe, hold on. I believe there's another person I need to call back here. Let's try.
Hello?
Hey, this is Jeremiah calling back. I saw I missed your call.
Sorry?
This is Jeremiah. I'm calling back this number. I just got a call from it.
Yeah.
Were you calling
was me.
about your Bigfoot sighting or?
Well, I've had several.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you for calling in. Let's make sure real quick that people can hear you on the other line. So, guys, if you hear this individual, feel free to put something in the comments, please. We'll give them just a minute. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
feel free to share what has happened so far.
Okay. I can't remember exactly how old I was, probably about 7, 8. We were living in Mississippi, in a little town called Bay St. Louis. And a friend of mine asked if I can go to a movie, with her and her family. And I said, yeah. And we went, and it was The Legend of Boggy Creek. I had never seen a scary movie before in my life, and that scared me. And at the end of the movie, the guy who was, running the film, he said at the end, he goes, make sure when you go home that you lock all your doors and windows. And anyway, I freaked out. I believed it. So when I got home and I got into the house, I locked all of the doors, ran around, shutting all of the windows, making sure, everything was closed. And I went and hid underneath my bed. And I just will never forget how that affected me. Anyway, as the years go on, I never thought about it again until my dad moved us to Los Angeles. And a couple of years, probably about 3 years after that, he bought a ranch up near Gorman. And it was over 100 acres of land. And it sat up on a mountain, and it was extremely rural. When I had to go get the mail, I had to walk a mile on this dirt road to go get the mail. When I got off the school bus, I would have to walk a mile to the house, and so on and so forth. And so when my dad bought this ranch, we decided, because I have 3 sisters, okay, or 4 of us total, we decided to go looking around the ranch, just like out of curiosity. And so we went up this dirt road that was on the ranch. There was where the house was, then there was the middle pasture, which is raised up a little higher, and then there's high pasture, which is way up high. And we had to go up this dirt road. And so we were checking it out, looking at things, and we were by this tree line, and we saw what looked like, I guess you would say, a fort, like a fort somebody tried to build. And it was pretty big. And so we thought, this is really weird. And we got into it. We crawled into it, and all 4 of us were inside of it, and we were able to sit up, and there was still room. That's how big this thing was. And I was thinking to myself, who would build something so far away from the house? It just didn't make sense to me. But then, we got out, and I was walking around, And I remember seeing this tree. It wasn't a fat tree. It was, just a smaller one, but it was very tall. And what happened is that I looked up, and this, I would say now when I think about it, was probably 8 feet tall, maybe a little higher. This one branch was literally broken off of it, and it wasn't there. I couldn't see it. And I'm looking around the other trees, and they're all fine. Everything's there. And then I realized, what kind of wind would take down a branch like that? And it just didn't make sense. So I remembered that. And then some strange things started happening on the ranch. Like one day, my older sister and I came home from school. And, we had to walk that mile. And then you had to walk a long dirt road down to get to the house. And on this ranch, we had 8 horses and a Shetland pony. And all of the horses were wild except for 2 of them that we could ride. So anyway, when we came home from school, we had our books. We were walking towards the house. But then we look out in the field and we see the group of horses, but there's one missing. And that was the Palomino. That's one of the horses that we rode. And so we decided, where is he? And then we decided we're going to go look for him to find him. So we put our books down and we start hiking. And we hiked all the way up to the high pasture because we were calling his name and everything. And we didn't hear anything. We couldn't see him. We couldn't find him. And then when we got up to the high pasture, just about where that fort, what I thought was a fort, was, my sister and I looked off and to the left, and up on a hill was this tall black man. I'm not saying like he was black, but it just didn't make sense. We're looking at it, and we looked at each other, and we said, who is that? Why is he all dressed in black? What's he doing up here? There was no cars or anything up there, And but by the time we looked back, it was gone. So then some other things that happened is that my dad made a apple orchard. We'd have to pull the rabbit bush and all that stuff, and he was putting in water irrigation and all that stuff. Well, anyway, one day I was outside, and then my dad, working on the other side in the orchard, yelled out my name. And, of course I yelled back, yeah. And he just firmly said, "Get in the house." And I said, "Why?" Because I hadn't done anything. It wasn't making sense to me. And he goes, "Do what you're told." So I started, walking really fast to get to the house. And when I turned around, when I was getting close to it, I saw my dad. And he was really picking up pace behind me, and I couldn't understand that, other than he looked kind of freaked out. So, we went in the house, and that was that for that incident. Then another thing that happened is when we moved up to the ranch, my mom told us, you girls don't need a curtain in your window because there's no peeping Toms up here. Like down in LA, they can see into your windows if you're like walking down the street. But she said that there's nothing up here. So we didn't even bother, putting on a curtain or anything. And I remember my mom telling us, I can't remember exactly what she said, but anyway, it was to the point of, you're not in the city anymore. You're in the country, you're up in the mountains. And the total difference of shock to me was, in LA, it's full of lights, okay? And there's the car noise and all that other stuff going on. But when we moved up to the ranch, the only thing I could hear were crickets. That's it. There was absolutely no noise, no lights or anything. That's how rural it was. But anyway, one day after my dad moved off the ranch because my mom and dad were getting a divorce, he took all the girls with him. And then she sent my brother to Oklahoma. And it was just my mom and I. And I would get really bored up there. So I would go on a hike. And one day I decided to go down the side of the mountain that I hadn't hiked before. And I'm hiking down there, and there's these two openings that I see on the left. So I decided to walk out the first opening from the tree line, because that's where I was walking. And when I came out, I had only taken like 1 or 2 steps, and there was this huge black thing sitting on a log. I mean, that thing wasn't far from me at all. I would say a good, I don't know, 25 feet, if that. And anyway, the second that I saw it, I swooped behind the tree. I got so freaked out. I mean, I actually lost my breath. I just like took in a breath, and I couldn't breathe. And I was really freaked out by this thing. And it was huge, and it was majestic, and it had its back towards me, when I saw it. And I've never seen anything like that. So what happened is that I decided I got to look at this again to make sure I'm not seeing anything. Okay. So I turned around towards facing the tree that I had swung around from, and I slowly peeked my head out. And sure enough, that thing was sitting right there. And then I swung behind the tree again, and the panic set in, like the fight or flight. And I was a very fast runner. I would run all over the ranch like I was the bionic woman. I mean, it was nice having that kind of room. So because of that, I ran up the mountain. I ran up there so fast. And I ran into the house, and I yelled out my mom's name. And I said, "Mom." And she came in there. She goes, "Yeah." I go, "You're not going to believe this, because I can't believe it myself, but I just saw a Bigfoot." And she goes, "Oh." And anyway, the reason why I knew it was a Bigfoot is because of that movie, The Legend of Boggy Creek, that I had seen, except this Bigfoot looked different from that one. And later when I saw the Patty film, that's what it looked like. It was more in comparison to that one. So anyway, I think I was really scared, and I stayed in the house for a while. And then, because of the divorce and everything, my mind was just, not all there. It was just a very sad time for me. So I am in the bedroom that I slept in. There was the window with no curtain. And I really hated it because the moon would shine so bright in there that I had to turn to face the wall. And, just to fall asleep. Well, one night I woke up in the middle of the night. I don't know why. I don't know if there was a noise or something, but I turned, and I'm looking at the window, and the window is pitch black. There's no moon. And I'm like, what? And I'm trying to adjust my eyes because it didn't make sense. And then all of a sudden I saw some movement. It moved enough that I could see a sliver of the moon. Then it would move back. So this thing was moving back and forth while I'm watching it. I literally froze. I froze. I laid on that bed, and I didn't move a muscle because I knew this thing was looking in at me. And I just kept in that position until I fell asleep. And then I remember when I woke up in the morning, I remembered what had happened that night. And I got up out of bed, and I bolted out the front door and ran around the side of the house to the back to the window where it was standing. And of course there was nothing there, but I know, what I saw. And so, after we moved off the ranch, moved back down to LA, I had, my little family had a couple of kids, and they were very young. But I went to college and signed up for broadcast journalism, and then the other one was physical anthropology. And I took that class. I even had to beg the teacher to let me in because it was full. But I wanted to learn as much as I could from where this ape thing came off through, how each stage there's like a gorilla, there's the chimpanzee, there's, all these different monkeys. I wanted to figure out, starting from the very beginning down the line, where this thing came from. And I did really good in the class. So, but the thing is that my children demanded my attention, a lot, and I couldn't continue. So I dropped out, but I still have the paper from college that says the physical anthropology class. But, so that's pretty much the situation. There's a few other things that happened, but I can't remember them offhand. They were probably just minor.
So some incredible accounts. If there was something in front of that window like you had seen, how tall would it have had to have been to be covering that window?
That's funny you should ask that, because the ranch was for sale a few years ago, and I took a friend of mine up there because, whoever was living in there was gone, and it was empty, even though it was for sale. So we talked to the real estate guy and, told him we wanted to go see the ranch. I didn't want to tell him I used to live there, because I wanted to be able to get on the property. And anyway, we ended up late, and we called him, and he said he can't come now. He can't come to the ranch now. It was too late. And I asked him, can we just look around then? And he said, yeah. So I had brought, because I knew what I was going to do, I brought a measuring tape. And I wanted to measure from the ground to the top of the window where I saw its head at. And I measured it from this porch that wasn't there before. And it was like 6.5 feet high to the window, okay? But then I remembered this porch wasn't here before. So I got off the porch and I measured from the ground to the top of the porch, and that was 2 feet. So this thing was 8.5 feet tall, at least.
Incredible. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I learned later, that Legend of Bobby Creek was a documentary. I was too young to understand what a documentary meant,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started learning all these other things. And then year 2000, on the internet, because I was all new to it, started looking up Bigfoot stuff, to see if there was any information on the internet about it. And then I came across the Patty film. And when I saw that, I just went into shock. I go, oh my God, that's what I saw. That's what that was. So, I started going back in my mind, all these weird things that happened at the ranch, like my dad yelling at me to get in the house, and he was scooting up pretty quickly behind me. And that fort, which actually turned out to be a tree structure. And those Bigfoots were living in there. And what I mean by Bigfoots, because the first one that my sister and I saw, which she didn't realize what it was, and neither did I until much later. But that one was skinny, like it was inebriated. And it was very tall, and it looked like it was wearing a top hat. But the whole thing was black from top to bottom. And and when we were standing there looking at it, it was looking at us, until my sister and I turned to each other and said, what's he doing up here? And why is he all dressed in black? And then, when we turned back, he was gone. But the thing is that I started learning more and more about the Bigfoots, about their structures, which I didn't know about, that they eat deer and all these different things. I've learned a lot about it since. And everything that happened at the ranch, it made total sense to me that there was Bigfoots up there. And I even, by the way, tried to get a hold of the people that we bought the ranch from, because she went to the same school I did. And I wanted to talk to her so bad because I wanted to ask her, what do you know about the Bigfoot? She had to have known, and I tried for a couple of years to find her, and to no avail.
It's a good idea to try to find the previous owner. It can be hard to do that sometimes, but good idea there. Have you heard any recent reports coming out from that Gorman area?
Yeah, there's been a lot throughout the years. And funny enough, when I started reading those stories, I noticed that it was during the time that I had seen the Bigfoots that other people were seeing them. And even over at Edwards Air Force Base, there was a person that was stationed at this guard shack, or whatever you want to call it, and he had one approaching him, and he went into shock. And you can find that on the internet.
Yeah.
And the other one, it was around the time that I had seen it, and by where I had seen it were these two guys that were driving home late at night, and they were going down the Lancaster 138 freeway, and they got a flat tire. And so, well, actually, I missed a part. I'm sorry. Let me go back. When they were driving down there, they saw this Bigfoot on the right to them running and keeping pace with them. And it really freaked them out. So then they just kept driving and driving. And then the tire busted and they had to pull over. But they didn't want to get out of the car. So they drove the car with that flat tire all the way to Gorman. And that was their experience. And there's been even recent ones up there. And I believe, to be honest with you, I believe that they're living on Fort Tejon Ranch, because it's thousands and thousands and thousands that are protected acres. They have water source, they have food, they have everything. So that's where I think they pretty much hide out.
It's really cool to hear about that area, as a lot of people were talking about in the chat. Brown Dwarf was bringing up a few things. That Gorman area, I mean, as you were saying, there's been tons of reports from that area over the years, and it's cool to hear someone actually call in and share personal accounts from that area. So thank you for calling in. And I'm sorry, I didn't even get your name if you wanted to share it.
Donnie.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling in, ma'am.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Pleasure talking to you. And feel free to contact if anything else ever happens. But have a great night.
Okay, I will. But I don't think I will. I'm living in the city again.
You never know.
Yeah,
we'll talk later.
True. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. What a nice conversation. What a very interesting account, for sure. I'm gonna check my phone real quick here. Let's see. Let me check it up. Okay. All right. Looks like we might have one more call. Ward, do you want me to give you a call back? I believe you were the 915, right? Squatch coin. That's funny. That's good stuff. Wow, 216 people live. Thanks for watching live, guys. I mean, this is incredible. We almost have 50 people on the X platform. We got 163 on YouTube and 4 on what is it? On Facebook. TJ, I'm just realizing that you're in the chat. It's good to see you. It was a fun conversation we had. But yeah, I saw your comments you're putting in about your grandfather. Such a wild conversation. Good stuff. Let's see. All right. Guys, we're going to go ahead and we're going to call it a night. Such a fun night. Some great calls. I appreciate you all calling in, those that called in, and some awesome comments. The comments have just been great tonight. Lots of different back and forth going on. And thank you to everyone who sent stickers to support the show and joined. And a special thank you to Larry for gifting 5 memberships and Jackie for gifting 10 memberships. Really appreciate you guys. And we will see you next time, all. Make sure you're subscribed. Let's get over that 50,000 mark, maybe before Thanksgiving, but definitely before Christmas. Leah, next call-in show will probably be, it should be next Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So cool. We'll see you next time, guys. Have a good one.